Today, the theme of today is the AI content trap. Like literally, a lot of people don't know when to stop and let AI be and be themselves anymore until they shut down their gadget. And how do we create content faster without losing our authentic humanity and voice? Because that is what connects us to other people. So AI can write, but can it connect? That's the question today. We're going to delve into it and the future of content creation with Jelena Ostrowska. Welcome to the Your Power Echoes show with Sylvia Julie Kalungi frequency, where truth is sacred, timelines collapse, and power is profitable. Oh my goodness, welcome to this today. We are gonna launch into our podcast with Your Power Echoes with Julie Kalungi, and today's guest brings both strategic depth and real-world experience in the conversation of digital branding, digital marketing, and online presence, content visibility, brand growth. Jelena is a content marketing strategist, a business coach, an entrepreneur who's spent years helping experts, coaches, consultants, service-led brands to create content that is not just consistent, but commercially effective, viable, and deeply aligned with who they are. So we are deeply grateful to have you on today, because you're a busy mama, you're a busy woman. And what makes Jelena perspective especially valuable is that she does not approach content as noise, because it can be noise out there. It's very noisy out there these days. But her work focuses on helping people uncover what is missing in their messaging, strengthening their identity behind the brand, and create content that connects, converts, and actually means something to your audience and to you, the person that's working, or the brand that's working with Jelena. She has built a reputation for sharp strategy, storytelling, insight, and the ability to turn content confusion into clarity. And I can tell you now, with the noise on social media especially, it is very important to have somebody who can help you unravel the confusion spool of thread. So, and that really matters, because we're in a moment where AI can help people to create faster, to automate faster, to just free your time. I have freed a whole day of my life using AI. And I no longer show up on social media for weekends unless I'm just posting about my weekend, as opposed to trying to promote the brand. So today we're going to explore how AI can be used in a way that supports originality, strengthens trust, and keeps the human voice at the center of content creation. And Jelena, it's a real pleasure to have you with us. Welcome to Your Power Echo Show with Julie Kalungi. And so before we dive deeper, if you're enjoying this conversation and you care about building a brand that is visible, that is what it's about. If you're building a charity, a business, a ministry, a coaching brand, or fashion brand, you want credibility, you want future-ready content, please subscribe, follow both Jelena and Kalungi Group, and share this episode with someone who needs a stronger strategy for showing up online. And when you share, tag us, Kalungi Group, so that we can also shout you out, and we can know the insights of who is following us and what stood out for you the most. Share with us in the comments below. So welcome to our podcast today, Julie.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me, Julie. I'm really excited for our conversation today.
I am excited. I'm really, truly excited, because I know you've been creating content for years. I know you have stood on stages with thousands of people and literally educated people on how to market themselves way before AI even showed its head up on the global front, and before even people knew what digital marketing meant. You were there leading the way. You have helped people build visibility online long before people knew what online branding meant. And so what should AI never replace in content creation? Where can it genuinely make you stand out? Where can it genuinely make creators feel more effective without making them sound like they are robots? Because there are a lot of robotic sounding content out there.
Yeah, as much as I love AI, I really dislike how people use it, because they essentially started outsourcing their creativity, which is the one thing that I believe should never be outsourced, because that's what keeps you alive in business. That's what keeps your brain alive as well. And I've always considered myself like quite a creative person, and I've always loved creating content as well. I mean, my background, like before network marketing and before like me ever getting into business, I've always loved drawing and sketching and painting. So for me to fully outsource my power, my authority, and my creativity to AI feels really weird. And I've done it. I've done it when I've had months, even as a content strategist, even as a quote unquote expert, I've had my months when I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. You know, everything just felt boring. But and looking back at some of the content that AI created for me, I'm like, this is absolute trash. Like, it does not sound like me. It does not have my personality. It does not have my perspective. And these are really the two things that AI can never replicate, in my opinion, no matter how good it gets. Like, it doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have empathy that you possess as a coach, as a leader in your space, whether you have, a charity or you have like a service-based business, because at the end of the day, you're still working with people. And if people cannot feel you through your content, because, no matter whether you use social media, you have a website, you optimize your content for SEO, AEO, all of those different things, it needs to sound like you, because the way I speak is very different than Julie. And the way Julie speaks is very different to other people. Like, I will never sound like a white American from Texas. Like, I'll never sound like that. I don't have that accent.
You don't want to sound like that either.
I don't use those words, right? I'm never going to sound like a woman from New Zealand or from the UK. Like, I don't have those kinds of accents and the words they use. I can use different vocabulary, but the one thing that really stood out for me was a couple of years ago when I have written this really long piece of content for my Facebook profile, right? And somebody messaged me. They said, it's really interesting reading this because I could read it in your Russian accent. And I'm like, that's interesting. AI is never going to write this way because I don't have perfect grammar. Like, I've been told this multiple times, even though when I passed all of my English exams, my grammar was 100%. So like right now, it may not be perfect because I don't think too much about it, but I don't intend to write perfectly, because today it's so funny when people see that your social media post is like spotless. They actually think that it's AI. Like, when it's perfectly grammatically written, they think it's AI. So some people started like on purpose adding typos and grammar mistakes to make it look like that. Personally, I don't do it on purpose. I don't like having typos in my stuff. I always try to proofread it. I still have typos in a lot of my content. Like,
I have typos always. People are like, your English, and I'm like, don't mind. My hand is dyslexic, and I am and so don't mind. As you get the message.
Exactly. Now, the one thing, that's two things: personality and perspective. Like, AI is never going to replicate your personality. Even, and we can talk about this in more detail, when I like go to ChatGPT or when I go to Claude, which I'm one of those people who thinks that Claude is better than ChatGPT. I know recently everybody has been saying that. Like, I've said this like about 2 months ago.
Isn't that funny that some people have just discovered that and they are going on about Claude is the best and I am the coach. Come to me.
It's funny, but yeah, like ChatGPT, I feel like it's gotten progressively worse, no matter how good of the input that you give it, because the input that you give it is going to be the output that it's going to give you. The issue with that is it's still using regurgitated words. It's using the same sentence structures, like, you're not broken, you just need a therapist, like that kind of stuff. So it, like, I've used those kinds of sentence structures before, but in like AI written posts, it's just so clear. Like,
it stands out.
It really stands out. And then it generally
not
follows.
Everyone is a professor.
Like, that's kind of how it seems like.
It makes everyone look like they are a professor from Harvard or something.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure professors actually write better. Like, I don't know. I've never gone to university, but they probably write a little bit better.
Oh no. Oh.
So it just doesn't have any emotion, that kind of content. And not to mention, it does use sometimes a lot of jargon. And when you read the content, you're like, I actually don't understand what that person is saying. Sure. And, it's kind of like a very fancy elevator pitch when somebody introduces themselves. I help with blah, 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 this and this. And it's just like this, like, memorized sentence. I hate that stuff. Like, I've always hated the elevator pitches. It kind of sounds the exact same way. I'm like, you need to speak to people on social media in your content the same way you're speaking face to face. And like, would you actually say like, oh, I help women unlock the power of manifestation. Like, you're never going to say
Tell
that.
me about that.
You're never going to say that to a friend. Like, what do you mean? Just like speak like you normally
Yeah,
speak.
tell people what you do in normal language and in even in your voice, and that's the problem, because a lot of business owners are producing more content than ever, obviously because of AI, but they are still not being trusted. They are not building real trust. And what do you think is the difference between the content that gets seen and goes, I don't want to use the word viral, because what goes viral these days is completely, I don't even get it. But what gets seen and builds that authority and emotional connection and a conversation in an AI heavy world, what do you think is the difference between content that gets seen and gets connected to by humans, and that content that we all say, oh, that's AI trash?
Yeah, I personally, I've never believed in the whole virality. Like, it's not hard to go viral. Like, I've had viral video with like 70,000 views. Like a reel on Instagram. Has it gotten me clients? Maybe, but like I can't track it back to that exact video. Like, it could have been somebody who discovered me through that video, but then later down the line they probably bought something. But in general, the video that gets 10,000 views versus the video that gets like 100 views, sometimes the smaller viewed video can actually produce you a client. So I never view the vanity metrics as a like important KPI, even though I've done social media management for clients, but it's really hard to track, the sales, right? Like in my business, I kind of roughly know where the clients are coming from. I see, like, oh, like this person came to my webinar or this person liked something. So like I see it. For clients, it's sometimes harder to see. But yeah, like the viral content, you have to keep in mind what's viral is for the masses. Your offers are usually for a very small percentage of people.
Yes.
So you don't want, let's say for anybody listening, if you offer a high ticket service, like if you're a coach, service provider, if your offer is, let's say, $5,000 and it's, let's say, a 3-month coaching container, how many clients do you need to hit your income goal for the month? So let's say you need to sign 2 clients every month, right? Something like that, 2-3 clients every month. You don't need 10,000 views. You need the right content and you need the right messaging in that content. So, and the problem with AI content is that it creates stuff like I said, those regurgitated sentence structures. The other thing it does is just educating too much. And it's not that educational content doesn't have a place to be. It does. Like, you do need to, bring in education because it does build your authority, creating video content. But you also have to meet people where they are right now. Like, what are they currently thinking? They don't necessarily look for, and they don't think like, I need a coach next month. They don't think that. Like, it's your job to communicate the value of your services and what kind of magic you could potentially create by working together. And you also want to shift people's beliefs. That's one thing that does make a difference. They need to believe in, what you believe, essentially, through your content. And the other thing is they also need to resonate with you. And not necessarily like, I just want to be relatable and be nice for everybody. It's not about that. It's about, like, one, they need to see you as an authority as well. So video content is great for that. Sharing client testimonials is great, although it's not the entire strategy, because some people think that just because you share money wins, you're going to get clients. No, like,
I
the coaches
ever share money wins myself, because it's not
like
business.
To me, that's just noise. Like, I recently unfollowed a couple of coaches because that's all they talk about is money. And I'm like, well, money is not the only reason why I'm here, right? Like, and if the clients that you want, like, if you want them to be interested in more depth, like depth of, creation, depth of the offers, depth of the kind of topics that you can talk about, because money is very surface level. And I remember reading a book about it, is that money is the lowest form of motivation because it's just numbers in the bank account, right? But what do you actually want? Like, why does it matter to you? Like, people don't always think deeper. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna, be a bro and promote it. Like I'll help you make 10K in the next 30 days. Like, it's just white noise.
Can you really help anyone make 10K unless they are motivated, desiring, and ready to put in the work?
Yep.
10K. You can. So again, it is one of those claims. So it goes back to the good old know, like, trust. So it doesn't matter how much AI heavy, professor sounding educational content you post. People have to know, they have to like and to trust you. not forgetting a little bit of the AI algorithm. I mean the social media algorithm, because that has gone crazy lately as well. No one knows what's going on with that. Today your content goes crazy, people are engaging, the next day no one's engaging, and you're like, what am I up to here? And that's why it's very important to have your own platform, which you and I have had for years. Before anybody created websites, we had our own websites. We had our own real estate where people can come off the social media noisy streets into the more calmer, more I can serve you better space, which is our websites. And how important is that today, again, where you have websites created in seconds by AI tools, and then people saying they are website designers when all they do is click a tool and they have a website ready for somebody. Whether it actually does the job or not, we don't know. So what's your views on that?
I still build my own websites manually, so I may be like behind the times, but I still use the same platform that I started with. I still use WordPress. I know a lot of people hate WordPress today. I'm like, I don't know, it gets the job done. And I've built dozens and dozens of websites for my clients in the last, 10 years at this point. So it works, it's reliable, nothing's ever happened to it, nobody has ever hacked it. I have all the security in there. And that website has really built my authority really early on, when I had no audience, when I had no visibility, when I had the only people who followed me were my classmates and teachers and friends who had nothing to do with business. So I know for a fact that having a website and having my content there it's kind of like your home. And I recently talked to somebody on a podcast episode, and we're both kind of like redoing our websites. So mine is it's under construction, but the homepage is about to be there. So
it looks gorgeous, by the way. It does.
Look gorgeous. Thank you. Yeah. It's not up fully yet. But I remember talking to that woman, and she said it really feels weird when your website is not up there, because I've always sent traffic there. Always. I had my YouTube videos there. I've had my blog posts there. I have podcasts right now on there. So I basically archived all of my network marketing blog posts, because they were basically irrelevant. There was about 300 of them, I think. So I was like, okay, I think it's time to let them go. So I let go of all of them about 2 years ago. But yeah, I said this to that girl. I'm like, it really feels weird just having my website under construction, not having my work with me page. It's there now, but at the time it wasn't. Because I'm I feel homeless, because that's always been the hub when somebody asks me how can I work with you? I send them to the website. Can I check out your offers? I send them to the website. Yes. Can I? And even when you get on podcasts like this, I've been so embarrassed actually to be sending my website recently because of the under construction page, because every single podcaster always asks, what's your website? Where can I learn more about you? So I'm like, oh, it's under construction, but it's about to be coming soon.
Well, it's available now, so we are excited to share with our audience where they can find more about you and learn more about the amazing coach and business woman and strategist and branding strategist that you are. And you've seen digital marketing evolve across several seasons. You mentioned network marketing. We actually, I think, met inside network marketing. We met inside what no longer exists, was MLSP.
Yeah.
And it was all about learning and building your brand and showing people the authority that you are in your space. So which content creation habits have you picked up over the years and have become more important because of AI, especially for smaller brands? People who are like what we were when we started back in the day, and they're starting out in this AI era. And they are, for instance, personally, I serve charities now. I serve charities, non-profits, ministries, churches. I think 99% of my clients are in that space. They are purpose-driven people working with limited time, limited resources. They are very ready to pay, but they have small staff. And I keep telling them, you actually don't need more staff. You just need tools. And so, what are your views on that? Which content creation habits have become your go-to and are even more important because of AI for a small charity, for instance, based in the UK?
Yeah, I would say video marketing is forever going to be here, and especially using your face, preferably, not these AI avatars that don't match the voice, or the hands are moving weird, or there's 6 fingers. I think with fingers they kind of sorted it out now. So majority of them Yeah. So I would say video content, and especially if you can incorporate any form of live video, but it doesn't have to be daily. Like I used to do daily Facebook live videos
We did,
initially,
weren't we? Yeah.
and it was good. It was a good way to, build your authority, to make yourself known. But today I would not recommend that kind of strategy. Potentially going live once a week, bringing on a guest, having a podcast, because people want to see and hear real conversations. And I do believe that podcasts right now are really kind of like the it strategy, because people want to hear what's the latest, the greatest, what's working right now, not 10 years ago. So I love listening to podcasts. I love, I launched my podcast last year, so I've been bringing on guests as well to talk about, what's working for them right now, what's working for, the founders of, their respective companies. And yeah, so I do believe video is big, especially like short form video, even on Facebook. Like I know we love and hate that platform a lot of the times, but people need to see the face behind the corporate company, even if it's a charity. If you can bring like the founder who can talk about the vision, the why, the story behind the charity, why it's important, why it was set up, like the stories and video are always going to be there. And AI cannot replicate stories. Like even if you give a transcript of your, I don't know, like origin story or whatever, it still doesn't know everything and every little emotion that you felt when you started the charity. Like it doesn't know your true motivation behind that. So that's where you would really come in as a leader. So yeah, video marketing, storytelling, any kind of form of live video, even Instagram lives, YouTube lives. I always believe that YouTube is always going to be there regardless of AI. I still watch YouTube videos a lot.
A lot. Every morning I'm watching something, whether it's YouTube or it's something that I've purchased and I'm actually learning intentionally, or I'm just learning generally. Every morning I am consuming. In the afternoon I'm creating, and in the evening I am sharing. So here we are creating.
Exactly.
Yeah, I keep telling people just consume, create, disseminate. Just have your 3 things to do every day and you'll never be overwhelmed, whether AI is working for you or not, because AI is working in the background for us. So today deliberately did not allow my AI note taker to take notes, because I always have to edit them for hours, and I'm like, well, what was the point of this? So again, the human point comes into play. I know I can stick them into ChatGPT and tell it to extract, but I thought we are going to talk about AI without using the AI today. Which is very interesting, isn't it? Video, what's your view about this? I know you did mention before that bring your face on, share the vision, show the work behind the scenes. It's these strategies. They are old and tested, and even with AI they work. What's your view of these AI? Because when I go on YouTube, for instance, it's bringing a lot of AI videos to me. If they are talking about a subject, they are authoritative about it, but the voice tells you it's AI. And many times it's not even, they don't show the face of a human. They just post various videos of different things that they've picked up or created, and they are faceless almost. So should a charity or a ministry try those out, or should they focus on the pastor or the vision and the volunteers and things like that? Because that takes manual, there's a lot of manual effort there, when this script can create a video for you in seconds. You just feed it the information you want it to create, and it will create a video for you in seconds.
For me, like if there is any kind of human connection involved between the brands, let's say a ministry, pastor, charity, and you're wanting to attract people into that charity, I personally would be very wary of using AI in this way, because you want to bring the human element, you want to build trust. So it's, in my opinion, a company that uses a lot of AI to replace the face. To me, like, I lose trust almost instantly. Like, I want to see that there's an actual human behind, like, what am I investing in? Who am I working with? So, and some people glorify AI to the point of, I'm like, okay, so why would I be working with you if that's all you're doing? So you want to understand, like what's your goals? Because if it's, let's say, if it's a news channel and they have this, like, a bunch of B-roll videos and they're talking about, like, the recent news or the war or whatever the case may be, I don't care who's talking. Like, if it's a robot delivering information, great. I listen to it, like whatever. For me, that doesn't bother me. But if it's somebody like a personal brand or somebody something where I consider investing, 9 times out of 10, I want to see a face. I want to see it's a real person. And also like you want to make sure that you don't get scammed. So people still do think about it because there's a lot of shady stuff going on online. So you do want to add, the human element. And it doesn't have to be any sort of fancy videos. Like I know it's manual effort, but we have our phones. They're just as good as professional cameras these days, like majority of them. Not like the super expensive cameras that like shoot movies and TV shows, but like the phone is good enough. Just use the back camera to record it. And again, like just add the closed captions to the video and speak from the heart. And yeah, because people can tell. People can tell when it's AI and when
it's true. It's really true. People can tell, but some people can't. To be honest, that's why they get scammed.
Yeah.
But most people, at least most people who are using AI on a day-to-day, can't tell, and that's where then we come to. So you're helping a purpose-driven founder. You're helping a coach. You're helping a business person. Create a month full of content using AI while still protecting their message and their brand voice. So what would you process? What would your process look like? What would your process look like? From we are mapping out ideas to we are publishing that final finished product. Let people know what's your behind the scene process from ideation to publishing, and so that people can go away with a clear kind of framework that they can say, I listened to this lady, she's a business coach, she's a brand strategist, she's an identity superpower, and I left with a clear map on how I'm going to create content for the next 30 days for my brand, for my charity, for my ministry, or for my personal, use.
Yeah, so my process is quite manual, so it's still using a lot of my brain power every single time I work with clients. My process typically starts with the onboarding process. So I was just earlier chatting with a client who it's taken her quite a long time to fill it out because I want to know as much as I possibly can about your brand voice, your offer, how you speak, are there any taboo topics that you don't want to talk about? Do you have visual identity for creating any kind of video or graphics or anything like aesthetically pleasing for the audience? So I want to typically know as much as I possibly can. Then one thing that I do use AI a little bit for is the market research, even though I typically look up competitors and see like who else is creating similar content, who else has similar offers, like what are they doing, just to get that initial inspiration for like what we can work on with the client. And then, we map out the content pillars. We map out, the content topics under each pillar. We map out, the kind of client that we want to attract. The target audience is always there, like and not the boring, like, oh, this is a woman aged 30 to 45. No. Like, because like I attract different kind of clients. Like I attract clients in their 20s. I attract clients in their 50s. I have a client coming in who's, I think she's 60 something. So I never restrict like the age or the demographic. It's usually more about the personality. It's usually more about what do they enjoy doing in their free time. Like my one of my coaches who I started working with about 1.5 years ago, I started working with her because I saw her expertise. I'm like, okay, she's good at what she does. I love her brain. And then she was also watching Vampire Diaries. And I was like, sold. I'm like, I know she's going to be my people. So I know it sounds silly, but that little extra thing, like it was really the selling point for me.
This is that extra, it's the know and the like, and the trust is built right there.
Yeah. Plus she already had the influence. So I know we've talked about the know, like, and trust. The influence has to be there, which is like achieved when you have the authority. And of course the KLT factor as well. So yeah, like I do a lot of market research. I do let AI like help me with that. Like, hey, find the competitors of so-and-so niche. I do like using it to create initial ideas just to kind of see like if there's anything that I like haven't come up, or like I come up with like 10 ideas. Let's see if there's anything missing. Or I run the ideas that I have by, ChatGPT or Claude and see like, okay, what's the missing pieces? I will say though, like Claude is a lot better at critiquing your content and telling you like, okay, so if you want to attract this kind of clients, this is the language that you should not be using. So it's good at actually giving you constructive criticism versus ChatGPT is always saying like, "Oh, you're doing
It's
amazing,
always
sweetie."
agreeing with you all the time.
It's always agreeing. So I'm like, if you like are tired of arguing with people, go talk to ChatGPT because it's going to agree with every little bad idea that you have. So it doesn't mean it's good for executing that idea, but yeah, like I would definitely be using Claude more for that. But then like the actual creation process, I do a lot of it manually. Like the one thing that's really good actually for video scripting. So if you find a competitor who has had, let's say, a quote unquote viral video, there are tools where you can download the video, run the script of that video, like get the transcript and give it to AI and say it like with your brand information, with everything about you, about your charity, about your ministry, have it give you the same structure for the video script. So that way you're not just like mumbling something, but you're actually starting with a good hook. You have a good intro. You are not like rambling for too long, and you have like a really good and punchy video. So for video script is also great, but you have to give it like a good example. So you still have to do, the research. AI can do a lot of research for you, but it doesn't always find what you can find manually. So I was recently doing a lot of like research on like local businesses in ChatGPT and Claude, and it still missed quite a lot of them. Like when I went to Google and I did my own search, I'm like, okay, it did quite well. Like it found about 70%, but the other 30% I would miss out on if I didn't look up the information myself. Yeah, those are some of the ways that I would incorporate AI while building the strategy. But I would not. When it comes to video scripting, you still want to review it. Did it use any weird words? Does the message, like, by reading the script, say it out loud. Don't just read it silently, read it out loud. Is this something you would actually say? Like, does it sound like you? Because you may want to reword certain things so it actually sounds like yourself instead of just like doing like the copy paste stuff. And then like the captions and jumping on stories, like I never use AI for that. Like you just speak whatever idea that you have in mind. Like yesterday I jumped on my Instagram stories because a friend of mine and I, we were talking about like chaotic energy that some coaches bring to their containers, and then a lot of people become unregulated. So I was like, it's a good topic, let me bring it up. So I've had a lot of engagement on the stories just based on that. And that also communicated my values and what I bring to my coaching containers. So if people resonated, then that also plants a seed like, oh, okay, so she's calm and collected, and she brings good energy to the to whoever she's working with online. So yeah, people want to like see that.
Yeah, you talk about energy a lot, and I wanted to just very briefly, 2 minutes, talk about that identity shifting that you talk about in your new product. Please tell the audience about it.
Yeah, so I recently did a masterclass that was called The Identity Gap, because when I looked back at my business from the last 10 years, and I remember, I think my family members used to tell me like, oh, like, please don't change, like always remain the same. And, like sometimes family members say that, they're like, oh, you're such a good person, never change. Like, and they say it's unintentionally and like, they don't think too much into it. And then I was like, if I didn't change, I wouldn't have the business that I have today. So if I still remain that 19-year-old, like if I still remain that teenager with the same attitude that I had, the same accent, and like no changes, like nothing would have changed, right? So your business only grows to the extent that you grow, and you and your identity as well. So, and I noticed a lot of the times it happened to me personally, like throughout the last couple of years, when I would show up in, let's say, the year 2024, but I would show up like I'm my 2019 self. So I would bring the old topics, and that also shows up when we repurpose content. And I was speaking to somebody the other day that repurposing content from 10 years ago is actually a really bad idea. And I looked at my content even from 4 years ago, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Like, these are not my beliefs. So it's okay for your beliefs to change. It's okay to change your opinion as well, because some people think, oh, like you just have to be stuck up in this thing. No, it's okay to...
You're not a tree, you can change.
You can change. Like I changed a lot of my opinions over the years. And sometimes they're still shifting. So like your identity is always going to be shifting alongside with, your business is going to be shifting with your identity. But yeah, like I've always believed that your business grows to the extent that you grow. And in terms of the energy and that side of things, like there's like we can go in a whole other tangent, but I've just seen recently, like I was saying this to a friend, I'm like, I've never been this like hype person. Like I would much rather like give you the resources and give you the coaching and everything, but like, and I'll be like the hype girl if you want me to, like I'll hype you up on social media and this and that, but to the point of like I've seen this recently, it's like some women and men as well, like they bring this chaotic energy into the containers, and it's like you go to a motivational event, but then you actually don't get anything out of it. So there's no context, there's no like I'll give you a very specific example. So there was 2 containers that I attended last week. One was a masterclass, the other one was a Telegram experience. The masterclass was with my coach, so of course I pay attention to everything she's saying, and like I implement majority of the things that she's saying. And I remembered after that masterclass a lot of key points that I took notes on, right? And then that Telegram experience was very chaotic, very all over the place, and it was free. So like I, wasn't losing anything, but it was just interesting to see how other coaches run certain things. I like lurking around in the industry as well. And I told my friend, I'm like, I listened to 7 audios and I don't remember a single thing. I'm like, that's not a good thing.
That's your time.
That's not a good thing. So I'm like, so like when you show your clients how you lead in your free spaces, how you lead in your free masterclasses, Telegram activations, challenges. So if they don't get any kind of quick win, even if it's just one thing, if they don't remember anything, if they feel more confused after that, that's a problem. So that's all I'm going to say about the energetics.
Wow. And that brings us to just the final question for you. Where can we connect deeper with you and your work? I know you did mention your website. Please do let the audience know exactly where that is, your socials, and so we can connect deeper with you and your work.
Yeah, so I'm very active on Facebook, Jelena Ostrovska, if you find me there. Like maybe you can put a link. I know I have a very long name.
Yeah, we will
my Instagram as well, I'm there, very active. And yeah, my website, so the homepage should be going live probably once this interview is up. So JelenaOstrovska.com. You can find all my socials, how to work with me, like, all the content and everything is on the website.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. And I do hope that someone has picked up something today, or lots of people have picked up lots of tips on has AI taken over the world, or has the humanity in your content got to stay in order for you to stand out for your audience? You're looking to sell to humans, you're looking to serve humans, you're looking to have your church or ministry full of humans, you're looking to be able to inspire humans and get donations from humans. So the human element can never leave, even with how much AI we have in our ecosystems, in our automations, in our processes. It's important to trust the process. It's also very important to trust yourself as a human, to know that you bring something totally unique that AI cannot bring to the table. And when you keep that front and center with all the tools that you use, as Jelena has told us, what's your goal? Where are you wanting to go? Who are you looking to serve? Those are front and center, very important, even as you choose which AI tools you're going to use or not use, as the case may be. Although not using them means you're keeping your head in the sand because everyone else is using them, so why not? So as we close, I want to leave our audience with this question. In a world where AI can help you to create faster, automate your systems, free your time, what will make your content worth trusting, remembering, and acting on? That is the challenge and the opportunity. So Jelena, thank you so much for joining us and for helping us think deeper about what powerful content creation looks like and should look like today. And you can connect with Jelena on her website, JelenaOstrovska.com, where you'll find out information about how to work with her, what products or services she's offering, and above all, connect with her on all her socials. Jelena Ostrovska is her handle. And that's it for today. So rise and shine to your awesome destiny and say it with me. I am the portal. I am the proof. I am the prophecy. It is done. See you on the next episode. Bye.